Have you ever pondered over the cost of the food on your plate? Not just the monetary value reflected on your grocery receipt, but the actual societal expense. The price that includes not merely the tangible product you consume, but the labor, the diligence, the emotional and physical toll that went into transforming it from a mere seed in the fields to a delicious dish on your dining table. This narrative doesn't revolve merely around economics or the idea of commerce. It's a tale of humanity. It's about the lives that are dedicated to producing our daily sustenance, about livelihoods that revolve around the rhythmic cycle of seasons and harvests, and more significantly, about the struggle in a world skewed against the agricultural community. Now imagine this struggle amplified in the context of a developing nation. Let's shift our focus to India, the behemoth of a country that proudly stands as the world's largest democracy. Here, in the vibrant, bustling cities and the quiet, tranquil villages, amidst the cacophony of diverse languages and an array of traditions, this struggle for survival assumes a more somber hue. It takes a darker, more heart-wrenching turn, manifesting in a tragic trend that has been a persistent shadow on the nation's agrarian narrative for decades. So brace yourselves, prepare to unravel the layers, to delve deep into the realities of the Indian farming community, because we are about to undertake a journey into the heart-rending phenomenon of farmer suicides. Welcome to a deep dive into the distressing phenomenon of farmer suicides. India, with its diverse geography and climate, is a country where over 50% of its workforce is engaged in agricultural pursuits. In the vast expanse of its countryside, countless laborers work tirelessly through day and night, their existence intricately weaved with nature's cycle. They till the soil, nurture the crops, and patiently wait for the season's yield, their sweat and toil painting a picturesque image of rural life. But this image, as idyllic as it might seem, obscures a deeply distressing reality. Beneath this bucolic exterior lurks a chilling truth that haunts the nation's psyche. Each day, approximately 30 farmers, unable to bear the intense strain of their profession, make the irreversible decision to take their own lives. This distressing reality often goes unspoken, hidden beneath the narrative of a prosperous agricultural sector. The waves of their despair ripple across the nation, leaving a trail of sorrow and questions in its wake. The relentless grind of their vocation, coupled with mounting pressures, forces them into a corner from which they see no escape. This equates to nearly 11,000 souls each year, a haunting statistic that has been echoing through the Indian consciousness for numerous. The roots of this crisis can be traced back to the mid-20th century, marking the commencement of the Green Revolution. This was a period when a global initiative was launched, fueled by a noble intention to revolutionize traditional farming practices and significantly increase crop yields to combat rampant hunger. This transformation in agriculture, however, wasn't without its drawbacks, thus marking the inception of a series of negative ramifications that soon followed. As part of the revolution, new farming techniques were introduced, which involved the use of high-yield seeds, potent chemical fertilizers, and harmful pesticides. These methods, although initially successful in achieving their objectives, soon began to demonstrate their detrimental effects on the environment. The excessive and indiscriminate use of these artificial inputs led to the intensification of agriculture, thus impairing natural health and ecology and leading to severe degradation. This also resulted in the disruption of local ecosystems and biodiversity, rendering some species extinct. Furthermore, a steep increase in health issues was also noticed, with a prominent rise in cases of chronic diseases like cancer. These were primarily attributed to the exposure to the harmful pesticides used in farming. Unquestionably, these consequences have raised significant concerns about the sustainability and ethics of modern agricultural practices. Additionally, there was a significant surge in health issues, particularly cancer, due to farmers, burdened with the skyrocketing costs of crucial agricultural inputs, often find themselves resorting to taking out loans to sustain their livelihoods. These loans, however, are not just a temporary solution. The persistent rise in expenses forces many of them to borrow increasing amounts of money to keep up with the growing demands. This troubling trend is further exacerbated by the unpredictability of crop outcomes, an issue that has only been magnified by the detrimental impacts of climate change. The ever-present uncertainty brought about by these rapidly changing weather patterns can make loan repayment an overwhelming challenge for many. With each unpredictable weather event that affects their harvest, their ability to repay their loans decreases, pushing them further into debt. The complexities of these weather patterns and their unpredictability add another layer to the already challenging situation, leaving these farmers feeling helpless and trapped. Consequently, many of them find themselves falling victim to unregulated, illegal moneylenders, desperate for a way out of their financial distress. Tragically, this often ushers them into a relentless cycle of debt, an intimidating and seemingly inescapable trap. Despite their best efforts, many fall prey to the unregulated sector of illegal moneylenders, entering a vicious cycle of debt from which escape seems impossible. The state of Punjab, known colloquially as the breadbasket of India, serves as a stark warning of this crisis. Historically, Punjab has always been revered for its fertile soil, bountiful harvests, and the tireless farmers who ensure that India's population is well fed. Its image as the veritable breadbasket of the country is not without reason. But today, this vibrant agricultural heartland of India is facing a severe crisis that is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Punjab, once a symbol of India's Green Revolution, now stands in the throes of a distressing phenomenon, a worrying rise in farmer suicides. This is due to the onslaught of many complex factors including mounting debt, failed crops, and the unrelenting pressure to produce. The farmers, who once held the nation's food security in their hard-working hands, are now caught in the grip of despair. The severity of the situation has escalated sharply in recent years. The farmers' sorrows and struggles have not remained confined to the boundaries of this state. Rather, they have spilled over, capturing worldwide attention. Their desperate acts, a cry for help, have found their way into international news headlines. This issue has sparked earnest discussions on global platforms about the sustainability of agriculture and the fate of those who toil in the fields. Global voices have started to echo the plight of these farmers. Renowned personalities from different walks of life are leveraging their influence to shine a light on this dire situation. Among them are renowned pop star Rihanna and young climate activist Greta Thunberg, who have taken it upon themselves to raise awareness and amplify the voices of these struggling farmers. Their initiatives have stirred global conversations and are pushing for concrete action to address this crisis. Global personalities such as the renowned pop star Rihanna and the young climate activist Greta Thunberg are raising awareness and amplifying. Yet, there is an alarming lack of accurate data on farmer suicides in India, making it challenging to comprehend the true depth of this crisis. This dearth of concrete information is not merely an academic issue, but a substantial obstacle in our path towards understanding the multifaceted aspects of this alarming situation. The lack of reliable, quantifiable data undermines our ability to grasp the magnitude of the situation and to develop targeted, effective interventions. Consequently, this significant gap in knowledge can prevent us from fully realizing the extent of the problem, thereby adversely affecting our capability to devise effective countermeasures. The heart of the issue lies in the non-existence of suitable systems to document these incidents diligently and accurately. This lack of data is further heightened in rural landscapes where a majority of such unfortunate incidents occur, often unreported and unnoticed. The remote settings, coupled with the absence of necessary infrastructure, make it a daunting task to maintain a comprehensive record of such incidents. The exigency of this situation demands an immediate implementation of several key reforms. Foremost, attention must be given to enhancing mental health services in rural areas, providing the farming community with much-needed support and care. There is an urgent need to regulate loan lending practices to shield the vulnerable farmers from possible exploitation. An overarching perspective mandates a scrutiny of the use of hazardous pesticides, often directly linked to these incidents. And finally, we need to consider banning hazardous pesticides. The issue at hand is not just about statistics and policies, it's about human lives, lives that contribute to our sustenance and the smooth functioning of our societies. These lives weave the fabric of our existence, coloring our world with their tireless efforts. The next time you sit down for a meal, let your mind wander to the fields where your food took. Picture the hands that diligently sowed the seeds, tilled the earth, and reaped the fruits of their labor. Visualize their battle with hardships, their predicament, and their silent melancholy. As you partake in your meal, remember their struggle, their plight, and their despair. Ultimately, it's us, the consumers, that can instigate change. Power in our hands, we can sway policies, demand transparency, safeguarding that our nourishment is organic and morally sourced. Discuss this issue, spread the word, magnify the voice of the agricultural community. Every